Hey everyone, getting ready on this merry Monday. I hope you guys have all had a fantastic day so far. And I am recording another video a little bit early. I am not doing a Thankful Thursday video quite yet. I realized that the video I did last Thursday is actually for my class next week. So I am doing a video today on Monday, which happens to be a merry Monday. And yeah, so I'll be a bit ahead. I don't have to record on this Thursday the video for next week. So hopefully I can do on Thursday some thank you cards. Looking forward to getting my act together and having videos for the creative cards and crafts classes done on days other than Thursday, because I'd like to do thank you cards on Thursday. That all being said, the cards we are focusing on today, let me just move this out of my way a little bit and go over here, are a couple of shaker or snow globe theme cards. One is a shaker card and one is a spinner card. And that is what we're doing. I'm going to try to see if I can change this. Oh yes, there we go. So that's the one that we will start on first, the one with the skier. There's two in the kits. There are two cards. One is with a skater and the other is with a skier. This one is the spinner card and the skier is the shaker card. I would encourage you to do some coloring before we do assembly. I did not get around to doing my coloring, so I'm just going to go ahead with the assembly. Let's see, the skier, yes, so this is the skier card that we are doing, and I will change this actually over here to my work surface view. So yeah, you can see a little bit better what is going on. And I now have a little bit of color instead of just that stark white, and hopefully everything will go a little bit more visibly for you guys. This is the back. You can color that. On the inside, you are going to put this here as your inner layer. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that into place as my inner layer. Put a light glue on there. I know you can't really see that very well with the white. Let's just lift it up. I can show you a little bit. That's kind of how much glue I tend to put on. And I'll just slide that into place there. Okay. Now, what else is in these kits? Okay. We have a card front that's already been stenciled for you with lots of fun colors. My friend Jose did that. We had a ladies' working crafting day, and Vicky designed and did most of the work on these cards, but she had some of us do other little bits of it. So this is going to end up getting centered here, but we have to do some assembly on it first before we glue it down onto here. This is going to go here, but again, we need some assembly first on it. And what is going to happen is this piece here, this Snow Much Fun, is going to be on here. That is right. And we're going to glue that into place in this location before we glue this into place. Okay? So what we need to do is have that positioned but unglued and put some glue on the back of here. So let me see, I'll just try to make sure I'm working within the view of the screen, and I'm just going to run a little bit of glue lightly around here. Oops, hold on, is my glue coming out? Yep. And if you want, I haven't done this on mine, but you could, let me just finish getting my glue and then I'll explain to you what I'm going to tell you. You could, there are some pieces in here. I don't know if you can see the snow bits that have not quite got popped out. So you can take your pick and just push out those little bits of paper there, and that will probably look a little bit nicer. Okay, so we've got this here, and we're going to just slide that into place right like that, and then lift this up, and that's going to get held into place. All right, you can put that aside now because we need to do work on the back of the shaker first. This piece of acetate that you have is going to get glued down on here. You can do it in a couple of ways. You can use glue if you want. I like to use two-sided tape. So you can do that in one of two ways. You can either put your two-sided tape on the acetate and then peel it off and stick it down, or you can put the two-sided tape. Now this is a little bit, I don't know if you can quite see where it goes, but this is a little bit smaller. So when you put your tape, you'll just want to make sure that you put it just slightly in from the edge so that the tape is going to catch all of the acetate. So I'm going to put this two-sided tape down around here, around all of the four edges of the back of the card front. Got that. Excuse me. I'll use my pick, whoops, to pick the tape up. If you're ever having problems peeling up the adhesive, always make sure that you push the two-sided tape down a little bit harder, and it should be totally fine. All right. Sorry about the frog in my throat. I'm going to put this on here. Oh, by the way, I've learned a tip, but I forgot to do it for this. But if you're having a lot of problems with static with your sequins or whatever your shaker filler is, apparently you can run this in some hand soap. It has some kind of emulsion in it or something that helps the sequins that are in your little foam packages from sticking. All right, so we've got the acetate on here. That is really great. If we want to, we could go ahead and glue this on here. So maybe I'll do that. Oh, similar thing. There are probably some windows here on the gondolas. Have any of you been out cross-country or downhill skiing? Usually you don't need gondolas for cross-country skiing. Downhill skiing, I have not been out yet this year. Don't actually have any plans to go this year, but I'm hoping to get out cross-country skiing. We have been snowshoeing in the woods and on the lake at the cottage. All right, and we can glue this into place. Again, I recommend that you do all of your coloring before you do this gluing on, but I don't have time to do that right now because I need to get this video done and my email out to all of the class participants, and I still haven't done my 10 minutes of strength work. I'm trying to get in a routine of doing regular exercise, so I'm doing some lunges and squats and things like that, and I haven't done them yet today, so I need to do that. And then I need to get to bed because I need a lot of sleep, and I get up fairly early for me to bring my daughter Heidi to school, where she's a teacher, because her new car isn't in yet. All right, so we've got that. Now what we're going to need to do is to build up back here using some foam, some pieces of foam, because we want to have an area that will pop up to allow the shaker components to shake and to contain them all as well. So I'm just going to cut a few little strips here of this foam adhesive, because you need to make sure it doesn't just need to be popped up, but it needs to all be fit tight in against each other so that your shaker bits don't spill out all over. Well, you can have them spill out all over the recipient's table or wherever they open the card, but sometimes they don't like that so much. So it really is better when we're going through and assembling our shaker card that you make sure that all of your foam bits are abutted very tightly against each other, and that you have your foam tape that you're using on your strips of craft foam, that they're nice and sticky all the way through, because you don't want any of the sequins or shaker components that are in your little silver package there to escape. I'm just going to finish. In an ideal world, I would have had these done ahead of time, but it's never seems to be an ideal world. Always lots going on today. Today I had lunch with a bunch of old work friends, including Vicky, who helps me so much with these card kits. Yeah, I think we were 9 of us at lunch. 2 of the ladies were still working, so we had it at a restaurant near where they're still working. And yeah, the rest of us got to stick around a little bit longer and have a bit of an extra visit. But we used to try to do about monthly get-togethers for dinners once a month after work, but after I retired, COVID hit and we stopped doing them. So that's the first restaurant meal that we've had. We've had a few in-person ones, but anyway, okay. Enough about me. Let's get on with assembling these. So I'm going to peel up the foam and I am going to start building a frame around here with the pieces. Put these here pretty close to the edge. Now this one here, I'm going to pop it in there like that, take my scissors and cut it. Again, you want it really snug so that none of the pieces fall out. And what we're going to do is we're going to build it up around the perimeter so that this is nice and supported. And then we're going to put in a little bit extra to have the, actually, you know what, I'll put, no, I should have it. These are just a little bit short. I should have done them there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're going to put these here like that. And now I've got these little pieces in here. The way I'm going to solve that is I'm actually going to put a piece right here. So that's going to give some extra support and it will close off the gaps. So this one is going to support it nicely at the top. And this one is going to keep the pieces, the shaker bits, all contained. There is another option that I want to tell you about here. So you'll see here, this is going to go, where did my card front go? This is going to go here, and this Snow Much Fun will be showing. If you don't want your shaker components to go down into this section, if you just want them up in the top here, then what I'm going to suggest that you do is you could right along that curve there, because we've got that. Here, I'll show you how to do that. Let's see if we can do that. Here's another piece of craft foam, but it'll need to be pretty thin because this isn't very wide. So I'll cut a skinny piece of craft foam, and this will curve along that edge. So let me get a skinny piece of tape and put that on this skinny piece of craft foam, and you can curve it around this shape right there. All right, let's do this. Another tip as well for cutting down on the static, as I said, you can with your acetate wash it and dry it, of course, before you assemble the card, with a little bit of water, with a little bit of hand soap. And the other thing that you could consider doing as well, I don't know if this is going to curve very well, but we'll see. Maybe I'll make it just a little bit skinnier. I'll peel up the paper, because hopefully with just the foam it will curve. Yeah, it curves a little bit better without the paper. Okay. All right. So I'm going to, let's see, just stick that down like that. Anyway, what I was saying is another thing that you can do, let's see how that's looking. Yeah, that is hidden, to, because of the sticky bits on here, you can run some cornstarch along here, and that will stop it from the, I'm sorry, I'm having such problems getting my words out. That will stop the pieces of in here from sticking right to this, to the adhesive that might be near your foam. And I'm just going to give another little bit of support right here, since I had a few little pieces of foam left. It's always nice to have the card base well supported. We'll peel that up. So what we're going to do here now is peel up all of the pieces of adhesive from your shaker card, and then we're going to pour the shaker bits into here, and then we're going to adhere this onto that and turn it over, and we're going to have a beautiful shaker. I might just put a few more little pieces of foam to fill in some of these things to give that card lots of good support. Oh, here's another little piece I can use for a little bit of support. Should have told you guys that ahead of time to create a few foam strips, but I didn't. So you can do it in real time with me. Most of my students hopefully are going to be in class with me, but some are not able to make the time that I have class. So I like to do these videos for you so you can have a little bit of extra guidance other than just the instructions that I do on the instruction sheet for when you're putting together your cards and your craft projects. All right. Yeah, that'll fit in there. And then I can put a little bit more here. And that's going to be a very well supported card front. Put that here. And I can put a little bit right here. All right. Let's hope this all turns out well. All right. I've got these in there. Now I'm going to use my foam pick to pick up all of the peel off all of the protective paper. I like to do this before I put the sequins in because I find while you get glue exposed that you might by mistake pour little sequins on or shaker contents on. The other side is that I find if I try to peel it after I've put it in, inevitably when I'm peeling I jar the thing and then all my sequins hop out. And I always jar it after I already have some tape off, so I find it easier to peel all your tape off before you put the sequins in the middle. Okay, and just before I finalize this, so what I did is I cut a skinny piece here and did it on the curve of that, and then I'm just going to pour my sequins into this part, and I'm not going to have any then that will go down here. You don't need to do this. You can just frame that whole area, but some of your sequins will settle down into here when they're not, when the card is not being shaken. All right, so in here are your shaker card contents. You want to open it pretty carefully and just pour those little snowflakes and little round sequins right into there. And go a little bit flat. And then you're going to take this, so you've already glued on your scene here, and we're going to do our best to get this lined up. Okay, looks like that. Get that out of the way, and we're just going to hope for the best, that it's pretty square. We'll see how I did. Ah, looks pretty good. There we go. Nice scene. You get to see the trees peeping in behind, and then this doesn't have anything right there. So that is our shaker snow globe card. All right, I'm just going to put, oh, the other thing you can do is there are some snowflakes and you can glue them on the front of the card or on the inside of the card if you like. I'm not going to glue them on right now, but you can certainly use those to add some extra with a little bit of glue on the back to put them on there. But in the interest of time, I'm not going to glue those on right now. I'm going to get going. Look at that. Well, how are we doing for time? I can't even see where our time is. Let's see. Who knows? Oh, 20 minutes. No, 20 minutes. Not sure. Whew. Okay, reset. That was that one. Let me see if I can move this screen along a little bit to here. Yeah, and these, yes, this is the skater card, and it is going to have a spinner component to it. So let's get out all the pieces for this card and see how that goes. Get that out of the way. So this skater is the spinner card. And, okay. So be very careful. In your kit, there is a little clear thread that has a little bit of tape on it. So you don't want to lose that little guy. I'm just going to put it here. Your card front has glitter embossing paste on here, so there's really nice texture and dimension and everything on this. This is the back. Again, you'll want to color that in. And then the other elements that we have, what we're going to do with this is after there are some lines right here. That is where we are going to put our little pieces of string, because on the string we are going to attach this little skater figure, and we're going to run the string between these two pieces right down there, and that is going to, okay, let me just do this. So this we're going to glue, no, sorry, hold on a second. I had this all figured out. Okay, so this skater is the inner piece right here. You could also flip it over if you want, because what we realized afterwards is that if you put this here, this piece here gets stuck down here. Just a second. You line up the bottom and there's a little bit of a gap at the top. So this is going to get stuck here, and it's going to partially cover up this skater. Kind of looks like she's holding the world, which is good. But if you don't like the fact that her hand is a little bit covered, then what I recommend that you do is you just turn that over like that. I'm going to let my little skater hold up the world. So I am going to put some glue on here. And put that there. Okay. All right. You're going to get a nice dusting of glitter everywhere. So I hope that's okay with you. Next up, I'm going to put a bit of glue on the back of this and then stick that down onto there. Okay? So I'm going to put glue on the back of this, right around the edge. And the same thing with this as last time. Oops, I'll try to show you as I'm doing my glue here. Oops, now I'm getting some glue on the inside. Hopefully it's in a spot that gets covered by this. Put a little bit in on the trees there. And you'll notice on this piece, like in the last card, there are a few bits of snow that are left in there. So I recommend that you pop them out. It'll just look a little bit nicer when glued on there. All right, so we're going to fold this over. We're going to line this up here at the bottom, like that. There is a little bit of an extra space around for the circle part there. And then we can open up our card, and that is going to be in place. Now, what I'm going to do, let's see the best order to do this in. So we need to take our tape. We need to take some tape and we need to put this string very fine, clear, which you probably can't even see, so just keep an eye on this so you'll know that that's what I'm doing. I'm going to put down some double-sided, okay, so this piece here is going to hide the double-sided tape, so it's going to fit right there like that. So you'll see that there's a little bit here and a little bit there, so you don't want your tape to go quite up to the edge. So we want our tape covering across here, because that's going to help us hold our line in place. So I'm going to put some two-sided tape here at the top and at the bottom. And then I'm going to pull my line across that tape, and I'm going to fold it over and put some more tape on top of it. And that should hopefully, particularly on the top, prevent the string from sliding through, because we want it to stay in place so that we can spin the thing around. All right, let's see. It is a little bit finicky to work with, but you're going to be really happy when it's done. Okay, so I'm going to put that like that, and I'm going to run this one like that, so it's nice and taut. And then I'm going to put a little bit more tape on top here to hold that in place. And then I'm going to fold the string over, because we don't want it to slide out. So if it's folded over and taped, then it shouldn't slide out. So I'm going to peel these up as well. Peel that up. Peel this up. Both of these. It would have maybe been better if I had thicker tape. I would have only needed one piece, but that's okay. Two pieces here. Good. Okay. And I'm going to fold this over like that. And I'm going to fold this one up like that and put a little bit more tape on top of it. And that should be nice and secure. We shouldn't have any tape coming, or should not have any string going out of position. I don't know if you can see that little string right there, but it's there. I'm going to cut off the excess right here, making sure I don't cut the string that's going across. Got that there. Now this piece here, we're going to glue into place right there. So I'm going to put some glue on this and glue it into place. And then what I'm going to do, after I get this in place, I'm going to line that up with this. Okay, so we've got a pretty nice looking thing, and the string is right here. Next, what we want to do is we're going to put this here like this, and we're going to turn it over so that it's centered over here. And I'm going to put some glue. Actually, you know what? I think what I'm going to do to help hold this in place, I'm going to use two-sided tape. It doesn't intersect at that many points, but right here on this sled is the main point of intersection, and also at the top and the bottom. This tape is a little bit thick or a little bit too wide, so I'm just going to cut it in half on the middle like that, and that is going to allow me to put a little bit of tape right there. That's going to keep this really nicely secured on the string there. And we're going to put one right here to keep that very secure against that. And I can do a little bit right on this hand here. There we go. So we've got some nice tape going here, two-sided tape. I'm going to use my pick to pick up the protective paper from that. And then I'm going to use my glue in the other spots. If you want, you could put more two-sided tape, but I'm really focusing the two-sided tape on the critical areas that I want nice and firm against that invisible wire there, or string. And then the rest of it, I'm going to be totally fine with gluing. I'm going to put a few drops around here. All around there, and a few on the back of the skater. You can see how you would probably want to have colored your guy ahead of time, but I didn't do it, so I'll color mine later before I send it off into the world. All right, and then here we want our skaters to line up with that. So we're just going to glue, hold on. You have to kind of, so the good thing about using some glue is you do get a little bit of wiggle time with it. There we go. So now I've got those really nicely lined up. And then, so what you do when you send the card, you'll have it colored, of course, so you can just spin this around a few times. And then what should happen is when you close the card and they open it, if you've spun it around a few times, oops, there we go, it spins when they open it. Now you do have a gap here. There is this line right there. So there's 2 snowflakes in your kits, and you can just glue them along there. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to put some glue down the spine, the center spine. That's going to go along here, and I'll just put a little bit of glue on the 6 points. A little bit more on this point here, because that will cover that up there. And I think the easiest way to do it, let's see, will be to, well, maybe not, let's see. Who knows? Maybe it's going to be to lay that down like that. And yeah, it's going to have to come up a little bit. Get that line there. Yeah, and then you can just press this other one. Hope you're not seeing too much the top of my head. And this isn't quite lined up, so I think you can use, let's see, what's going to be the easiest way to get those lined up. You'll just have to try to do it quickly before the glue sets, but just kind of move them around a little bit and try to get those 2 snowflakes. Mine didn't quite line up perfectly, but still looks pretty good, I think. As I say, so you'll spin this around, oops, and have the seam pointing out, and then when you open it, it should, I guess I didn't spin it enough, it should unspin. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and if your snowflakes aren't quite into place, you could then add a little bit more glue. So I think it's a little bit tricky to get them along the line there. If you're having problems with it, don't even worry about the snowflake there. You could just have it spin just the top part, and you can use the snowflakes for decorations. And here's a couple of extra snowflakes here that you could stick around on there. That is all that we have for this Creative Cards and Crafts class. Thank you ever so much for joining me on this Merry Monday, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And I will see you on Thursday for a Thankful Thursday recording that will probably be thank you cards, but it may be another project that I have already delivered to my Dementia Society card making class, so that I can get ahead on that. But soon, Thursday, recordings will be making thank you cards. Have a great week. Bye bye.